Yeah! Hello everyone. So I thought today I'd chat about my health because really to me it's become an insignificant part of my life, but I suppose fundamentally it's a very significant part of my life. I was diagnosed at 16 with something called ulcerative colitis, which is of a similar nature to Crohn's disease, but doesn't affect as wide a variety of parts of the body. And unfortunately, by the time I was about 18, because it had taken a couple of years to catch, it had already spread by that point. So I'd gone up to university in Sheffield, and I was told that I'd need to have my entire bowel removed. So I think it was about 2 weeks after my 19th birthday, I moved into the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham for what turned out to be about 5 months, where I underwent surgery. And then it took me about 4.5, 5 months to rehabilitate, kind of learn to cough, breathe, walk again. And then went home, did a further 3 months recovery. I had a colostomy bag at the time. Big shout out to all my colostomy bag brothers and sisters out there. Boom. And then from there I went back in and I had what's called a reversal. So out of what's left of the bits and bobs inside me at that point, they made a pouch, like a little reservoir that stuff goes in, and as it fills up and overflows, that's when I go to the toilet. Yummy.
Sometimes when I wipe, I'll wipe and I'll wipe and I'll wipe and I'll wipe 100 times. Still poop. Let me check that. It's like I'm wiping a marker or something.
And then after that, I tried to kind of get back on with my life, I suppose. I didn't really think I could live off the incapacity benefit, so I set up a sport and leisure wear company with my mate, and that went well. And eventually I left that because over the coming 18 months I became the general manager of Sheffield United Football Club. That's kind of different topic. And from there I had really kind of decent health because I'd been so poorly for so long that in comparison, going to the toilet 10 times a day, which for those of you that know what I'm talking about with no bowel, it's not ideal, but when you've been suffering as I was, actually it felt pretty good. Felt like a decent solution. And then really I kind of had a fairly, in real terms, stress-free period in terms of my health up until about 26, 27 years old. So I'd been working super hard at a place called the Ricoh Arena that I took over. I think I had about 140, 150 full-time staff at the time, and about 600 or 700 zero-hour part-time, whatever the right phrase is in this day and age, staff. And we were really trying to turn that business around from having no football club, was when I was there. And unfortunately my mum was diagnosed with terminal cancer at the time, and within about 10 weeks of the diagnosis she passed away. Unfortunately I really struggled from there on in the sense that I went from the birthing unit for the birth of my daughter, my first child, to my own mother's funeral. And about 10 days after that, my small bowel collapsed or narrowed, which had been a side effect, for, I believe now, subsequently from previous surgeries where scar tissue had wrapped itself around my small bowel. I was off work for about 5 months at that point, and Compass Group, who were my employer at the time, were just incredible, the support they gave me. My boss and my boss's boss, and particularly a guy called Colin Bailey as well at the time, and Andrew Boyd, they were such great support. And I got myself back up to speed 5 months later, and everything was going good guns. And then unfortunately the same thing happened again, almost 12 months to the day.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And same surgery, but I think the signs were recognised much quicker this time. So I found myself in surgery and out and back at work probably within about 4 or 5 weeks that time, so it had a marginal amount of disruption to my life.
Here they come. Up the hill. Might get a wave. It's a wave, boys! Tough day today. Oh, that hill through the Brecon Beacons. Definitely adding our money for Marie Curie.
And then I went good guns again, and I had a pretty good 3-4 years, and then unfortunately the same problem happened again, but actually as I became wise to it, learned how to manage the symptoms and actually never needed the surgery. Still required about 4 weeks in hospital actually, but I managed to not go under the surgeon's knife because I'm at a point now where I'm having surgery to correct surgery. And then that kind of brings me up to current day. I'm 33 years old now, so I'm not particularly old. But in amongst this, from probably the age of 22 when I was first the general manager of Sheffield United to 33, I've had a senior up to exec level job and tried to balance that with my health. And then actually last year, unfortunately, I had to have 2 lots of surgery. All good, nothing too sinister. That video gave some context to my life and what has happened, and maybe why I'm vaguely worth you spending your time listening to waffling on while I sit in the kind of office at home, because I think a lot of people go through some pretty tough and some pretty traumatic stuff. And I think I'd said in a previous video that out of the past 13 years, I think if you add cumulatively the times in hospital, I'm somewhere between 2 years and 2.5 years with follow-up appointments, day cases, surgeries, rehabilitation. So it's been a really significant part of my life, but actually the one thing I'm really proud of is that whilst it's been a significant part of my life, I don't view it significantly, in that it hasn't stopped my career, it hasn't stopped me having an amazing family, amazing friends, and a really great life. But I think hopefully mine is a story that proves that there is hope. And as I said, whilst I might not be a millionaire, which is probably when you're talking about work, if not a millionaire, running companies turning over hundreds of millions of pounds may be what the world defines as success. I think for me, my definition of success was overcoming all those things and having a kind of happy, balanced life with great friends and great family, alongside a career that's afforded me some nice stuff. I don't live lavishly, and particularly in a coronavirus world, that's been proved smart as a self-employed person, where obviously income dries up pretty quickly. Given that I'm starting to post videos on subject matters that aren't just random content, I thought maybe the context of me, my story, obviously I've not gone into great detail there, but I'm aware that it's not the atypical story alongside a reasonably successful executive career. So I'm very ambitious, still things I want to do, but I view work and I view money and profit and loss as a scorecard of success, not a motivation. You don't go out and buy bigger, better cars and all those things. For me, it's the buzz. It's that moment, and anyone who's had some real success, the moment the hairs on your arm stand up, the moment where you think, I did that. And for me, I don't need the adulation of others to have that feeling. And so every day that I go to work, it's in pursuit of what can I do, what can I create that will give me those moments. And that is the kind of the drive that when you are hospitalised and when you're lying in a bed hooked up to tubes and you're pressing a button just to be able to sit up, actually they're the things that are still going through your head. It still works up here. It never stops. And there's so many people that I've bumped into that look at my life as a career, whereas I look at it in the context of the round, and I think with the round actually maybe it has more significance. I hope it has more significance, and I'm hoping that I'll get to kind of meet and chat to other people through starting this vlog and It's only a shorter video for today, but I thought it'd be nice to give context to who I am and maybe why I'm doing this blog. So, as always, stay safe, wash your hands, socially distance. Don't be a dickhead. I keep asking it to stay in your house. Have a good one. Tatty byes.